This is a really super important one because not only have we talked about every 7 years you're going to experience a transit with themes around this, but here we have a big culmination point. This is going to be your second Saturn return. This happens between the ages of 57 and 59. Now, if you're like myself, you typically experience the energetic shifts that happen prior to it, but the actual return is when Saturn transiting meets your natal Saturn at the exact degree. That is your exact return. But if you're like me and you have your moon within 8 degrees of your Saturn, you've also been going through your Sati Sati during this time. And that, my friend, woo. Now, as I began this midlife transit series, it opens with your Saturn square. Now, this happens 7 years after your Saturn return, your first one. And then we have 7 years later, our Saturn opposition. The square and the opposition are checkpoints between your first Saturn return and your second Saturn return. How are we doing? They're progress reports, if you will, from Big Daddy Saturn, making sure that we are on the nose with doing what we say that we're going to do, that we have stuck with the uncomfortable challenges, restrictions, blocks, pressure to get to the other side where our goals and dreams get to be brought to fruition. It's the hard work. Second Saturn return between the ages of 57 to 59, most women are postmenopausal at this point. We have navigated what it's like in our hormone regulations, our body shifts, our mental shifts, our physical world shifts that all happen. This is an extraordinarily active time of our life, from our early 30s up until our late 50s. This is a chunk of deeply spiritual changes, as well as changing our external world and preparing ourselves into that wise sage phase. Now, Big Daddy Saturn is really the sage in a sense, because it's about that discipline, that structure, and about really getting rid of the crap that is just extravagant, that makes no difference in our happiness. It's not Jupiterian where it's optimistic in that sense. It is disciplined. It is rigid. It is asking us to do the work. Through the long, cold, dark nights, doing the things that we need to do in order to get the blessings. Because as I mentioned before, Saturn loves to delay, but Saturn never denies. We are reviewing what we've done for the last 30 years. Some of us may be entering into retirement. Some of us may be entering into entrepreneurship. Just depending on what it is that we're doing and where we want to go. But we get to reap the rewards of our dedication and hard work over the last 30 years. And it's a review period where we get to see what has become the diamond and materialization through the pressure that we've experienced through all these different transits and life experiences. From 57 to 59, in that second Saturn return, we also may experience foundational shifts and changes. This can look like going through a divorce. This can look like the death of a spouse, the death of our parents, the death of people, because Saturn also rules old age. It does talk about death. Really review the time and the energy and the foundations that we've spent building over the last 30 years to see if they have any solidity to move with us in the next 30 years before our third and final, if some of us live that long, Saturn return.